Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Videogame Shoebox, a segment where we take a trip down memory lane and check out games from previous generations. I'm Mike Notridge. Today we're going to be taking a look at one of my favourite games of all time, Mega Man X on the Super Nintendo. Released in May of 1994, I was fresh off of finishing Mega Man 6 on the original NES, which had just been released a couple of months earlier. As a 7-year-old me was led around our local Toys R Us by my parents, I happened upon the new release video game section. And there it was, just sitting there on the shelf. I hadn't experienced excitement like that in all my life up until that point. I rushed over and grabbed a box from the shelf. Mega Man X, it said. I rushed over to my mum, screaming, "Mum, look, Mega Man, Mega Man!" I remember her saying, "What the bloody hell is a Mega Man?" "He's a robot man with a laser arm who goes around stopping all the bad robots. I played him at Nan's house." "Well, then you don't need another one if you already played him, do you?" Parents rarely understand. "But Mom, look, it's X! Mega Man X! That must mean it's number 10! I haven't seen this one before. I didn't know they've even made 10 of them." In a world before the internet, I was too young and inexperienced to know there'd only been 6 Mega Man games at that point. But the 7-year-old scholar in me wanted to show off that I'd been learning Roman numerals at school. "He's right," my dad interrupted. "X is definitely 10. My dad bought me the game for being a good boy and doing well at school. I get home, and without a Super Nintendo of my own, I would have to wait until the next weekend when I would be at my grandparents' house again. I must have flicked through that manual 1,000 times. I didn't care how long I waited. To this day, almost 22 years later, I feel excitement whenever I slap that cartridge into my console. Like running into an old best friend in the street. Set 100 years after the original Mega Man series, in the year 20XX, Mega Man X is actually a spin-off title and the first Mega Man game to appear on the Super Nintendo. It spawned a total of 11 games in the X sub-series. Much like the Mega Man games that came before and after its release, X is a standard action platform game where you go through an initial series of 8 stages in whatever order you want, blowing up robots left and right, wall jumping and platforming your way to the final corridor. Each stage is coupled with a similarly themed rogue robot boss that you must defeat, and you are rewarded with a new weapon for doing so. These weapons, unlike your standard shot however, are not infinite and have a set number of shots available, so you'll have to defeat every enemy you see in case they drop a health or power capsule. There's no risk of being penalized for taking on the levels in whatever order you choose, but there are benefits to beating one certain stage before starting another, such as gaining a weapon from one boss which is super effective on another. It can really make the difference between beating the enemy or having to get your password sheets out. Yeah, that's right, no save games here. Either you remember that long code or write it down, or it starts from the beginning for you. In a few of the levels, there are also secret capsules left by your creator that can be found to bestow certain abilities. One of them is unmissable, but super important in other levels. Hint, always do the ice stage first. The controls are easy to get to grips with and it handles incredibly well, even to this day. The pixel-perfect jumping requirements are still there, but X is definitely a more forgiving Mega Man title on the whole. With 3 different strengths of shot on your regular Mega Buster cannon, depending if you're tapping fire or holding it for a second or 3, you'll be one-shotting some robot fools in no time. 8 not too surprisingly themed stages, a couple of extra stages and a boss rush or 2 later, and you'll find yourself wall jumping for what originally felt like forever. Just scaling up a vertical surface, occasionally blasting baddies that crawl out of holes in the wall. The topless giant tower is Sigma, the reason for the unrest in this robot-riddled world, and he's pissed that you've made it this far. Guess we'll just have to keep this password safe until next weekend. That's it for now. Tune in next time for another trip down memory lane as I dust off some more cartridges. If Mega Man X seems like your kind of game, you can check it out via the Wii U eShop. There's also a great remake, Maverick Hunter X, available on PlayStation Network for PSP, Vita, and PlayStation TV. Let me know on Twitter any other games that you'd like to see on here. I've been Mike Notridge, and I will see you next time.
And that's about it for this edition of Player Attack. Thanks for watching. Next week, we're headed back to 1989 as a volunteer firefighter in Firewatch, and we get a new look at Deus Ex: Mankind Divided as we chat with Mary DeMarle from Eidos Montreal. In the meantime, you can catch us at playerattack.com. We're on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter. And if you've got something you want to say, send us an email, mailbox@playerattack.com, or just hop on our forums. Till next week, I'm Jessica Citizen, and this is Player Attack.